week and Sunday night, 7 p.m. So you know what that means. It's time for the podcast is really live. And we are really live right here on Twitch. We're glad that you could join us. We've got a great guest tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about this really, really cool candy store slash game store slash comic store slash it's geek central. Let's just be honest. We're going to talk about that too. So don't go anywhere. And then from there, I will bring Utah on. Here he is. Hey, Utah, welcome. We're
Greetings,
live. What are you doing?
programs.
You having some boba tea there, or what is that?
I'm having some boba tea from
It is
a lovely
boba.
local place.
I
Yeah,
just guessed.
my favorite local boba tea place, Cocoa Bakery. They just opened up a new location earlier this year, right by me in Coventry. So I'm a very happy camper.
All right.
But yeah, the original location is out in Asia Town, our small, tiny little Asia Town in Cleveland.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So yes.
Boba, for those who aren't familiar, has these little, almost like little tapioca balls or something down there, right?
Yes, very delicious.
And they don't really like what's the appeal of the boba itself? Like what's the
Well, so they're like you said, they're little tapioca balls, right? Little tapioca beads. And it's interesting because they're
you can eat 'em.
sweet. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can. Yeah, you just suck them up in this big straw. They give you a big straw. Don't worry, they
Yeah.
thought about that.
I was going to say.
But yeah, as you're drinking your tea, and they have many different flavors of tea. This one's just a standard kind of milk tea. But they have many different flavors of tea, and the tapioca balls are kind of chewy. They've got a nice little chewy texture to it, and it's interesting because they're sweet, but they're not super sweet. So they kind of add to the sweetness of the tea as you drink it. And I don't know. I don't know why it's so popular. It was, it's funny. The story goes some tea shop in downtown Taipei in Taiwan. Kudos to my home country.
Right.
Like had extra tapioca, and they like just made little tapioca beads.
So
and
its
then
origin
decided
is
to put-
Taiwan.
Yeah.
I
Just
didn't
like
know
me.
that. Very cool. Yeah. No, very cool. All right.
So,
I'll have to give it. I tried it like ages ago, and I didn't get it. Like I was like, I'm not sure I get it, but I do want to try it. I mean, it sounds like and the place I went wasn't like a boba place. It was just a thing that they also offered. So I tried it.
Oh.
So maybe I need to really actually get boba tea.
I think you need to go to an actual boba tea place.
Yeah.
And if you're here in Cleveland,
visit
Ohio,
you
Cocoa
and,
Bakery is the place to go.
and go see.
Totally.
Yeah, absolutely. Was that your what am I trying to say?
I don't know.
Was that your
Sounds
toy
like-
corner this week? Was that you had to show, or did you have something else?
Oh, what are you talking about? No, my toy corner this week is, and also this is kind of in celebration of our guest who is very how should I say, fluent in things Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
I have a guest. Why it's a cute little xenomorph. Oh, look at the cute little xenomorph. He wouldn't hurt a fly. He's so adorable.
Oh
Look at
boy,
this
what's
guy.
inside?
Oh, wait.
He's got a zipper mouth, which is almost
It's a
creepier.
zipper mouth. Wow, and
Oh
he's
my
got
gosh.
the zipper mouth too.
That's funny. Wait, what's on
Oh,
the
wait,
end
hold
of
on.
that?
Let me do my little.
Does that say AVP? Oh yeah, we can freeze
where?
frame that.
All right. There we go.
There we go. Podcast listeners are like, what just happened?
What just happened?
Did the show
We'll put that.
end?
We'll put that in
No.
the show notes.
Yes. You can see that. We'll post that picture on our Twitter.
But yeah, come on, look, he's adorable. I
what's
guess
on the end of his
I'm
little
not quite
mouth?
sure what. Huh?
I thought it might be teeth, but it looks like letters. Was it letters? Or it's just
No,
teeth?
it's just more zippers.
Oh, it's just teeth. It vaguely
just
looked
teeth.
like letters when you because I couldn't quite see it.
Oh yeah. Well, I need a better camera, but yeah, it's just more teeth
Interesting.
because the xenomorph needed more teeth.
So where do we find this guy? Where
So
could,
this
or is he an
is,
exclusive from?
This one is this I don't think it's a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, but Quantum Mechanics makes a whole bunch of fun things, collectibles and accessories, and they have a whole line of zipper mouth plushies. It just so happened that they have a Pennywise.
Oh
zipper
gosh,
mouth
that'd be
plushie.
creepy.
But this one seemed, I don't know, this one called out to me like just across the screen. It just kind of went,
Yeah.
and so, but there it is.
Well, hold on a second. I just realized people are talking to us. Yeah. Oh, somebody thought thinks it's too cute. So
Well,
apparently
come on, it is
the teeth
cute. It's
don't creep them out. He is
adorable.
pretty cute for
I mean,
I may
come
have to get my wife
on.
one of
Look,
those.
he's
She
got the little
loves Alien.
tail. I mean,
She'd get a kick out of that probably. Yeah, pretty cool. Awesome. So the since you brought it up, sort of, and I was going to use that as a segue anyway. If you had mentioned that it was from SDCC, San Diego Comic Con this weekend for people who have been before, aka this guy over there. They had the opportunity to get tickets, right? What happened? Did you get tickets? What's going on?
yes. So for San Diego Comic Con, what they do is they like to treat people who have gone before. They like to give them a kind of a special treatment by allowing them to get badges for the next year
Are they
first.
are they stinking badges?
We don't need no stinking badges.
Oh, okay.
They're just
Just
they're
regular
regular. They're just regular badges. They don't stink.
Good. Then that's good.
Yeah, yeah.
That
And
was
so
that was a deep cut there. I don't know if anybody still
I feel
even
like we're
gets
the
that
only
reference.
ones that got that.
Yeah, that's an old reference.
But so the yesterday Saturday was what they call returning registration, which is basically anyone who went last year or who had a badge for last year was eligible to wait in line online because it's not San Diego Comic Con without a line. To wait in line and then buy badges. And so I was part of a buying group because that seems to be the best way to get badges for San Diego Comic Con because they only sell maybe 125,000 badges and over 250,000 people try. Actually, no, last year
crazy.
I think they almost 500,000 people try and get these badges because I guess San Diego Comic Con is kind of a thing. A lot of geeks and nerds and people who love pop culture and comic books for that matter. They kind of call it the mecca of the pop culture comic book world. So, and a lot of studios, DC, Marvel, Lionsgate, all of them, they all announce things at San Diego Comic Con that you wouldn't hear about otherwise. And sometimes they do premieres. They always have actors and celebrities there all the time. It's a blast. It's a lot of fun. But yes, I was able to get my badge for
Nice.
San Diego Comic Con, July 19th to the 23rd next year. So
The
I'm excited.
likelihood that I will be able to go with you is pretty slim, but one
I
of these
haven't
days
found-
it's going to happen.
I haven't
But-
found. I don't have a bag big enough yet. I don't have a piece of luggage big enough to fit you. So we're gonna
One
have
of
to
these
figure
times
something
we're going to
out.
make it work. Probably it won't be next year, but we'll have to live connect with you while you're there and just
I'll try and do a remote. Yeah.
yeah,
Sure.
we'll do it. We haven't done that in a long time. Like the last
Oh gosh. I
we
think
did
I'll-
that a while back, but
Yeah.
we did a live stream on Facebook. Remember that?
That's right. I
Yeah,
remember that.
took us on a little tour. Yeah, so we'll see what we can do. I don't want to, obviously take up your valuable time, but if you get into Hall H and get to see something really cool, live stream from there. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They
Yeah,
will
they'll
throw you
let you
right
do
out the
that.
window. That'd be awesome, though. So yeah, I would like. I'll be there, but one day. But we will be there in spirit and hopefully in digital streaming, virtual form.
Hey, we got to work on
well, at
getting
least-
World Gone Geek like press credentials.
Right? That's the key right there, We're in at Fan Expo, but that's about it right now.
Hey,
We'll keep going.
Baby steps. Baby steps.
All right. Well, before we get to our guests, there's a couple of quick things we want to go about. First of all, yesterday my weekend was spent going to the grand opening. They've been open for a little while, but they finally got to have their grand opening celebration and stuff Friday, Saturday, Sunday of
Nice.
a place down in Medina, Ohio. So if you're listening from far away, sorry, but it might be worth
Road
coming in
trip.
for. Yeah, because it's pretty great. If you're anywhere in Ohio, it's definitely worth the visit. But it's called Sweets and Geeks, and
Nice.
the premise is that it's a candy store that also has and see here my impression going in and seeing their Facebook and seeing their name was okay, big candy store, maybe like BA Sweeties we have
BA
here in the
Sweeties.
Cleveland area as well. Okay, big candy store, love it. They have the root beers and the cool like weird sodas and stuff, and I like to go check those out. And I'm like, oh, and you can probably get Funko Pops and a few other
Some
things
collectibles
as well,
yeah.
right? I couldn't have been more wrong or more underestimating this place. I am not kidding you. It's gigantic. It is so big. There is lots of candy, but there's also an ice cream area that serves boba tea. I have no idea if it's as good as boba. But yeah, they serve tea and ice cream and all kinds of different treats down there. Milkshakes they can make, things like that. There's a game room, so you can actually like come and play board games. They have some board games you can rent and sit and play with your friends and
nice.
family. They have Dungeons and Dragons nights, I think on Thursdays, all
Why is it always Thursdays?
right? All what am I trying to say? All skill levels welcome, right? Like everybody.
Yes.
But then you so that's kind of like you come in, you see candy, you go downstairs, and then there's that's where the
That's where the
little
dungeon
game
is.
room and stuff. But they also sell like magic cards and every type of collectible card, Pokemon.
Oh, cool.
There's huge display and counter there where guys are doing that. You go up some stairs and you walk into this. They have every board game imaginable, just a massive collection of board games for sale. They have, when I said they might have a few pop figures, they got a few, like a whole room full of pop figures, basically.
Nice.
They, if you check out our Instagram, at World Gun Geek on Instagram, you can see I put up
you
a
got
few
some
pictures
up there.
and I took pictures with Deadpool. They have a big giant Deadpool statue in there. They have, but anyway, they have a whole room dedicated to Dungeons and Dragons and Warhammer and that kind of stuff. So you can get all those kind of, materials there. They have an entire wing basically dedicated to anime. So you can find, there's a whole wall full of every plushie from every anime you can think of. They've got little.
All right, are they open? I'm gonna go. Bye.
Little figures. It's amazing. They got little figures. They've got manga, for sale there. They've got all this stuff.
Nice.
And then upstairs, even further, so there's another floor.
There's
They have
another
an
upstairs?
attic. Yeah, I'm telling you. Every time I thought, okay, well, I've gotten to the end of this. I'm like, wait, there's a room. What's this? And there's more stuff. It's so jam packed with geeky things. I was like, my mind, I couldn't handle it, and luckily I didn't have much money, so I was like,
So you couldn't spend it.
Me and the family who were there, we got some candy. Otherwise, I don't know what I might have done. But yeah, upstairs in the attic, they've got some clearance stuff. So there were pops up there that were only $5, or they were like 15-25% off. They're labeled prices. There was other kinds of toys up there. Oh, they have a Lego set. I mean, it's just, they have everything there. It's crazy.
Any video games?
They don't have everything there. They have, because they don't have video games. As soon as I said they have everything there, you hit me with the one thing I didn't see. So no, I think it's more like the whole tabletop card
Cool.
game type of thing.
Sure.
No, they have two stand-up video games you can play. One of them was Duck Hunt. You can literally pull out the gun and play Duck Hunt in a cabinet. And they had Mortal Kombat. I believe it was the first one. So, place is amazing. But my favorite part,
what's that?
So whenever I go to VA Sweeties, I have to get more root beers.
Yes.
Because I absolutely love root beer. And so I picked up this one.
Dang.
That's its name. I have not tasted it yet, but we'll find out if it's worth a dang here in just a second.
I figure that's what you're going to say after you take a swig of that.
That's what I figure. Yeah, right. So this one I already drank.
But that could go either way, right?
It could be good or bad. Yeah, I have to follow it up with some context, right? Appalachian root beer. Since I'm from West Virginia, I'm like, I got to try that one. That one was pretty good. This one was my favorite one so far. It's this Bedford's root beer.
Bedford's.
And again, I only show these because I'm hoping some of these people will sponsor us someday. No, I'm kidding. They're really good. This was a can of 1919 root beer.
So why?
I don't know the significance of that. I haven't looked anything up about it yet, but it was a can. I got some.
Very Christmassy.
Some Spreckers that I'm going to try. I've had them before, but never in a can, so I'm giving that a try. Yeah, lots of cool stuff. So let's see. I'm going to taste this dang right now. I'm going to taste this dang root beer right now. It keeps us in our family friendly. PG.
Keeps a PG
show
theme.
So that's kind of cool. Could have been worse, right? All right, let's go. Dang. No, it's really good. No, it is
that sounded like a good dang.
Yeah, that was a good dang. Yeah,
Not a bad
it's pretty
dang.
good.
It's a good dang. Pretty good dang.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like some of the ones that you get there and stuff. Like they have like special things they've done to the flavor. They've mixed it a
Sure,
little
they
bit,
tweaked
but
it a bit. Yeah.
I mean, this is a pretty traditional tasting root beer. I wouldn't say that it's like super different from a lot of other
specialty.
root beers.
Yeah.
but it's very good. Yeah. So dang, I'm gonna keep continuing drinking.
Well, dang.
We'll resume the show shortly. No, I'm kidding. All right, and the last thing we want to talk about before we get to our guest, I've got some stuff to give away, and we got a lot of people in the audience here, so maybe I could give a few of these away. So I've been watching this show. It's a new show. You can watch it on Paramount Plus right now. No, yes, Paramount Plus. I don't know what I was thinking.
No, please get the streaming. Please get the right streaming.
Right?
service.
Oh my gosh, they're sponsoring, so we need to do this right. No, seriously, it's on Paramount Plus. It's it's created by Taylor Sheridan, who is behind Yellowstone, 1883. Some really, really great
he's done
shows.
some
This
good
guy
stuff,
is on
yeah.
fire right now. Like
Yeah.
the guy is making hit after hit after hit when it comes to TV shows. And this one's called
Dang.
Mayor of Kingstown, which is Jeremy Renner is in this show. That's him there. There's a little Hawkeye action there.
He's the mayor, is he?
Well, so the interesting thing is this is a town with that is very much its business is prisons, right? It's and so he is kind of this unofficial liaison between the prison community, so the guards, the wardens, all that, the police, the gangs, and the community. Like he's trying to keep peace between all of that by making backroom deals and things like that to keep everybody happy. It's an interesting concept. I never thought about it, but it's another one of those like Sopranos or
Sure, yeah.
Breaking Bad. It's like, you know, you like him. He's trying to do some good things, but he's also has to do bad things sometimes to get things done. And yeah, it's really a very interesting show. And yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. But we've got season 1 on Blu-ray right here, which is pretty sweet.
An actual physical disc
I know, right? Now
that you can hold in your hand.
occasionally they do this with the discs. A lot of times it's digital codes that we'll give away, but this is the actual physical Blu-ray. As you can see, it's actually, you know, still in the wrapper there.
The case is still blue.
It comes with over 2 hours of special features, so I have no idea what that means.
Oh, I'm sure there's
I don't
some.
have my glasses
oh,
on, so
is
I
there a
can't read
blooper
that.
reel? There better be a blooper reel.
There might be. Who knows? Renner's good in this, and I like him a lot.
I like
So,
Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, it's a good show. Especially if you like those kind of shows. If you're into that, like, kind of people walking the line between good and bad. Yellowstone is like that too. Kind of, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
they're kind of doing bad things, but you're still kind of rooting for them because the people they're doing
Yeah.
bad things to are also bad. And it's, you know what I mean? It's just, it's one of those type of shows. But no, I enjoy it a lot. And actually, as I sit here, I have 4 copies to actually give
Heyo.
away right now to anybody who wants one. So I'm going to ask you
How
to
you
put
wanna
your
do this?
email, huh? And
Yeah, I
these
was
are only
gonna
going to, unless nobody in the live wants it, which is fine because that may not be your style. Then I'll give them to podcast listeners. But if there are 4 people out there who would like to get copies of these, just drop your email in the chat. The first 4 emails I see are going to get these. That's what I'm going to do. It's just
There
the
we
easiest
go.
way,
There
I
you go.
think, to give them away. And then I'll email you, get your address, and mail them out to you. Just that simple.
Make sure that
Again, if nobody
timestamp is good.
if nobody watching wants it, totally fine. We'll save these for podcast listeners. But if they're gone, podcast listeners, this is the benefit of showing up to the live show. As we give stuff
You
away.
never know.
As often as we can. And we got some good giveaways coming up. We got a Top Gun is coming up soon. In a
Dang.
couple of weeks. Yeah, Top Gun. A movie
Maverick or
called
Top Gun?
You know, they listed Top Gun, but I'm pretty sure it's Maverick. I mean, you know what I mean?
They
Maybe
need
it's
to
the
make that
original Top Gun.
distinction. They
Yeah.
need to make that distinction.
I know. They just listed all the stuff that I told them which ones I thought our listeners would be interested in. And I said Top Gun, and one of them was Medieval, which is a Ben Foster, and it's like a really violent, ultra violent. I mean, the trailer is like Red Band. It's just like
Right.
dismemberments and gore. It's just.
And I don't
but
think there's a non-red band version of the trailer. I don't think they could. I don't think they could have
so.
edited it. Yeah.
It's just, you know, but it's brutal, like knights and whatever battling, and
It's medieval.
it's
man.
medieval. So we got that one. There's another one too. I can't remember off the top of my head.
But it's Paramount.
It's Paramount. So special thanks to Paramount for these. We appreciate it, and we'll find good homes
We'll
for these.
continue giving away your stuff, Paramount.
Yeah, no, we appreciate it. All right. Well, that's the business, right?
The business
end of things, and now we got a chance to talk to an awesome guest. The thing. Will Tom Cruise be the guest during the giveaway? That's dude. Yeah, that would be awesome, wouldn't it? Right? Like that would be a get to get Tom Cruise. Now, Utah has actually met Tom Cruise at SDCC.
This hand has actually shaken Tom Cruise's hand.
Right.
I haven't washed it. Actually, I have. I'm kidding.
We were both surprised that a guy like Tom Cruise would come and greet fans at a Comic-Con, but he was there for Live, Die, Repeat, right?
Yes. At the time, it was called Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow, yeah.
And then
and he was super cool,
out.
Right?
He
Everybody? He was gracious?
super nice. So nobody knew he was going to be there. We knew that there was going to be a panel for the movie Edge of Tomorrow. We knew that there was going to be an autograph session where the director and the producer and the cast were going to sign posters, and we're going to have multiple posters. They're actually back there somewhere. I'll have to get them out. But nobody knew that Tom Cruise was going to be there. That was they did a great job of keeping that a secret.
Wow.
He was the last person they announced for the panel in Hall H that they had. And then the signing session happened right after the panel. And yeah, it was huge. It was amazing how much hoopla there was and excitement there was for like a little 5'2" guy.
Yeah, that's the other thing, right? To see him in person was like he was way. I mean, we know that he's not a super tall guy, but it was really obvious. Like, yeah,
he's tiny. He's tiny. Like, there's a reason why he. Other than Nicole Kidman, they always tend to cast shorter actresses with him because it makes it easier. Like Emily Blunt, not that tall.
Well, he married Nicole Kidman at one point, didn't he? Weren't they married?
They were married.
So it's like they had to cast her. That
right. He couldn't hide from that. So
yeah, I mean, he made that. That was a choice he made. So he didn't.
That was his.
I don't think it bothers him. Right. I really don't think he cares about it. And because the guy is a multi-billionaire superstar.
I think he's doing all right.
His movies always make money. People say they don't like Tom Cruise, but they like his movies. Always make money. People are going to see them.
Well, except for the Mummy remake, that was pretty crappy.
Well, Well, I mean, people got to draw a line somewhere, right? I mean, but he sells movies. I mean, the people that went to that because of him. You know what I mean?
Yes,
because they thought,
totally.
it's probably going to be good because he's in it, right? Show me the money. Yeah, that was
that's
great.
Pretty much it.
I was literally just watching that clip the other day. I was looking for some clips of people on phone calls for something I'm doing for Extra Life.
And that's
and
perfect.
It's not for what I was doing, but I was watching that clip. It's so funny that show me the money.
No, Tom Cruise, I don't think has any insecurities whatsoever.
No,
but
I mean, the guy will attach himself to the side of a plane taking off, and
he's kind of nuts.
A second thought. His next movie he's going to do in space. Do you hear about that?
Yes. He's going to.
The
next movie has scenes in space.
There's like
he's going to be the first
multi-million-dollar addition to the space station that they're doing in order, like they're helping fund that so that they can film there.
I don't know all the details, but yeah, he's going to be the first person to film something in space. So take that, Tom Hanks.
Right.
Take that, Ron Howard.
Well, if Tom Hanks would just be like Castaway up in space, right? And,
right. They'll just put him up in the capsule and just leave him up there.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm stuck. Now, he's already been in space, and he did go up in the plane that does the anti-gravity. That's how they filmed Apollo 13.
That's how they filmed the stuff for Apollo.
So he's close. Right? Tom Hanks was close. Tom Cruise is going to take it a step further. He's going to go out of the atmosphere. He's going
to actually be in space.
Yeah,
right.
Which is kind of crazy.
Tom Cruise is the nicest guy. I don't necessarily get the whole Scientology thing, but he's one of those stars that will he engages with you. He looks at you, he keeps eye contact, and he makes you feel like you're the only person in the room, and he's only
that's
talking to you.
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
Which was surprising to me because that's not the impression that I get of him. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't necessarily a fan of Tom Cruise going in, but he made me a fan because of how he treated. Well, I mean, not just me, but everybody that went through the line. Like, he was very much focused on the person in front of him, which is great.
Yeah, I saw a clip of somebody where he was in a line, or in one of those red carpet type situations, and some guys asked him a question about doing his own stunts, and Tom turns around and he's like, yeah, it's fun. I just, I was asking him if he's afraid or whatever. And he's like, no, not really, not anymore. I just do it. I don't know what he's some real simple answer. And the guy says, yeah, I was in a car with going 95 miles per hour with a guy driving, and Tom Cruise is just kind of like, okay, but he was
Good
really
for
nice.
you.
He was really, yeah, it was really nice, even though it was like, I hung off
what do
the
you say
side
to
of the
that?
Burj Khalifa or whatever it's called, that
Right,
building,
right. But you were in a car.
and or I've strapped myself to the side of a plane, or I hung by my fingertips from a rock
From a
over the top.
helicopter.
Yeah. No, it was just funny. And you went 95 miles. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. What was he supposed to say to that? I just thought it was so funny. But he was still nice. So it is what it
He
is.
was very cordial. No,
Yeah,
he's a nice guy.
Yeah, he broke his foot jumping across the rooftop.
Yeah, in that last Mission
in the
Impossible.
last Mission Impossible. Yeah.
Broke his ankle.
And
he
kept
still
he
and-
finished the scene.
Yeah,
Like, they didn't
he
realize
limped
until
he limped
afterwards.
off screen.
Yeah. They didn't realize until afterwards that he had done it. And that scene is still the one that's in the movie, from what I understand, right?
The guy, he's crazy. Look, he's our age and he's doing this kind of stuff.
Shut up. That's not cool.
He actually might be older. I'm not sure, but he's in his 50s.
He probably
now.
is. No, I think
He's
a
in
little
his
bit older than
50s.
us. Yeah, that's pretty
And he's
embarrassing.
doing this stuff.
And this is what we're doing. So, well,
Tom Cruise ain't got nothing. Dang.
Yeah, dang. Tom Cruise isn't drinking dang root beer on a podcast, right? Let me tell you that right now.
Dang.
That is my privilege, my friends. All right, let's go. People have been waiting so patiently in the chat. We appreciate that. We have a guest with us today. He is this was a funny story about how we kind of connected. I was at the Cleveland Gaming Classic a few weeks back or whatever. We had a booth and we're doing stuff. And he posted on Twitter from there, and I was kind of following hashtags of that. And I saw that he was a wrestler, and I saw that he, was decked out in his outfit in some of these pictures. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like he should come over here. And I think I DM'd him on Twitter, or it might have been Instagram. And I said, wherever come over to our booth and talk to us. And he's like, no, I'm here to play video games, not talk to you. And so, no, he didn't say that, but he was like, he had other things to do. And he's like, yeah, I'll stop by if I can. And when, we couldn't connect, it was just, there was so much. We talked last week when Tom Jenkins was on the show.
CGC
It was a
huge.
crazy show. Lots of stuff going on. So we didn't get a chance to connect, but afterwards, he said, yes, he'd come on the show. So here he is, everybody. He is Robby,
Welcome the show to the show.
The show to the show. Robby Starr, also known as Rob Galloway. Welcome to the show, man.
Hi, thanks. I appreciate you guys having me for sure.
No, it's so great.
Yeah, the Cleveland Gaming Classic was like, I actually was there with my buddy Jared, and he's a big fan of wrestling and he's a big fan of video games. So we went together naturally because we connect, obviously. But I had a show that night.
I remember that. That's what you said.
Yeah. Then you said, you're like, over here. And I was like, oh, I just left. I had to get to a show. It was actually a Buckeye Wrestling Alliance show down in Warsaw, Ohio. So I had to leave.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And get down
So it was
there.
a little bit of a hike.
You had to drive.
the
Yeah.
wrestling show. Yeah, it was a long drive. Oh, you don't even want to know where the GPS took us on the dirt roads.
I'm surprised the GPS even knew.
Sure. I don't know what was going on. I lost signal in the IX Center. And
it wasn't great.
My phone was not the same for about a good half hour, and it was taking me all kinds of goofy roads and stuff. It was weird.
Oh,
that's funny. Well, we're glad it worked out. We're glad that we were still able to connect and that you could come on, because I knew that I wanted to talk to you. I mean, obviously you're into video games, and that's something we're into here.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have been there otherwise, unless you were just, I don't know, maybe you were there just to watch the guy beat Punch Out with blindfolded.
I saw the clips of that. That was impressive.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Very impressive.
But you're obviously into video games. I think Mortal Kombat is kind of your jam, right? That's where you come, and we'll get into that. But then I saw that you were a wrestler, and that you wrestle locally at some of the regional events that are around here. And I'm like, dude, we got to talk about that too. So tell me a little bit about, let's start with wrestling. We'll get into video games and stuff too. Tell me a little bit about like how that started for you. Like
Okay,
as a fan, and then you just started beating up on your friends in the yard, or what? How did that all begin?
that's pretty much it. Back in the day, obviously I was a fan. I watched on TV, and then my buddies and I, we probably started, man, when we were like 10, 11, 12.
Oh, wow.
We did backyard wrestling. Then we started taping ourselves once we got the right technology and the camcorder and everything like that. We started taping ourselves for years. And it started on a trampoline, emulating what we saw on TV. And then it turned into me, obviously, or actually just growing up and going to college and stuff. And like, I say growing up, I was still doing backyard wrestling in college, believe it or not.
That's hilarious.
I was probably like 20, 21 when we stopped. But by the time I was 24, I got approached by just this girl that came up to me when I was lifting weights. And she's like, have you ever thought about being a pro wrestler? And I was like, do you know me or something? I was like, I thought somebody was like ribbing me. And she's like, no, I'm affiliated with a school down in Coshocton, Ohio. And it was called Big Guns Pro Wrestling Academy.
Oh.
And he was the owner of Ohio Championship Wrestling. They only started about a year before. They started in 2003, and in 2004, I actually, for some reason, I just went down with this, just on a whim, like meeting this girl who I didn't even know, and she was like, "I'm a valet, I'm a wrestler, I'm a worker." And she told me about the school, and I had no idea about like independent wrestling at all. I just thought it was like WCW and WWF at the time.
Right. A lot of people think that.
No idea about like the lower levels of wrestling. We're still all professional wrestlers.
Yeah.
But obviously the TV gets the more popularity and the more viewers and everything like that. Right. But that's the segue to those companies is the independents. And I went down and checked it out, and I did my tryout, which was free. And then at the time, the promoter took me aside. He's like, "You definitely are athletic. You have what it takes. I can train you. Here's the cost of the school, and we train 3 days a week. If you want to do it, I'd be more than happy to train you." And couldn't thank him enough. And I just had my 18-year anniversary actually last night, believe it or not.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yeah, I actually wrestled the Powers of Pain, the Barbarian and the Warlord, old WWF wrestler.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was.
Oh, wait, I think I saw that on your Instagram. Did they mess with you? They messed with you before the match, so to speak.
Oh, they
right?
totally cheated. They totally cheated.
Of course, the Powers of Pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then, like 3 months
the
after.
Powers of Fair Play. That's not their name.
That's not their name.
The Powers of Lame. Come on.
That's right. There you go.
But yeah, like 3 months later, I trained, and 3 months later, I had my first match. I was actually the fastest graduate in Big Guns Pro Wrestling Academy. So,
wow. That's really cool.
I picked it up pretty fast, and I think because I emulated and we watched so intently on the TV.
Yeah,
I was doing everything backwards, and I was taught that.
Oh, because it was mirrored.
Right, but I mean, I didn't know like there's certain secrets in the wrestling business and stuff that I was just doing things. I was doing things correctly, but not correctly. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I could let you in on. Okay, so for instance, a lot of times, most of the time in North America, wrestlers work the left side of the body.
Okay.
So it's always the left arm, the left leg.
Oh.
My friends and I were doing right arm, right leg, stuff like that.
Okay.
Because that's what you saw, right?
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I wasn't paying attention too closely.
Yeah. So Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of the moves. I mean, I used to do the same thing. I mean, I have a feeling I'm older than you. Well, let me before I go there. Tell me like what era was it that you grew up with? Then who were you emulating? Like, who did you guys pretend to be when you guys were out there?
Well, when we were old enough, it was more so the Attitude Era, like Stone Cold and The Rock and Triple
Mm.
H, Undertaker. I grew up as a fan, though, of Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Randy Savage,
Nice.
The Ultimate Warrior, Andre the Giant, Ted DiBiase, The Powers of
Nice.
Pain.
Yeah,
Those guys for sure.
that's awesome. Yeah, did because I we would do the same thing. I grew up like Hulk Hogan that was the era that I was in
Yeah.
high school. Was that first WrestleMania and all that kind of stuff was when I was a kid. And yeah, we would do the same stuff out there we'd have a trampoline, so we just throw each other out on the grass.
On the ground.
Yeah, it was bad.
That explains a lot, Jeff.
Yeah, there were there were little nuances though that I'm sure that you learn going to school that could mean the difference between like actual injury, like broken necks and broken, limbs,
For
and
sure. Yeah.
an actual, kind of safe yet. I mean, none of it is painless. You know what I mean? But
Right.
at least you can do it without severely paralyzing someone, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm definitely sore today after my match. I actually had 2 matches last night, but definitely sore today. But like you said, I view pro wrestling as like an art form, really.
Yeah.
But athleticism as well. We have to obviously everyone knows pro wrestling is a work or it's staged or whatever.
Right.
But I hate the word fake.
It's not
Yeah.
fake.
We have to be
People
so
used it wrong. Yeah.
precise. At least the good wrestlers have to be so precise to make it believable that I'm punching someone or hitting someone or slamming someone with force, and make that crowd or that audience or that person on YouTube believe it,
Mm-hmm.
but not hurting that person. So,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
it's excuse my voice. I was yelling a lot last night in my match.
Could
I was
only
mad.
imagine
sure.
how much.
I got a frog in my throat or something.
Yeah. So the Attitude Era actually got my attention again. So I was into it huge as a kid. I think when Ryan was here, we talked. I had a Hulk Hogan birthday cake one year. Like
Yes,
they actually
that's right.
made Hulk Hogan on my cake.
Yep.
And there's a picture of me. I had probably, it was probably middle school or maybe freshman high school, just skinny, rail thin. I was not like I wrestled in high school, like collegiate style wrestling, that kind of stuff.
Greco.
Later, this was before that, right? But I'm still wearing the Hulkamania muscle shirt, right?
You're wearing the
these,
shirt.
putting my arms out like this, and there's the Hulk Hogan cake, and I'm just like, that is still. I gotta find that picture. Somebody's going. We got to show that on the show at some point.
Yeah, you need to
because
preemptively show it before somebody finds it. And
and then it'll just then I have to backtrack. I gotta get ahead of the story on that one.
that's right.
Yeah, no, it was. I loved it back in the day, and then I kind of fell out. Got to college, and I just kind of fell away and didn't really. But then after I got married, we had a couple of kids. I came across I think it was Stone Cold match or something, and I'm like, oh, I've been watching the WWF in forever. Of course, WWE now, but
Wow. Right.
I was like,
Right.
it'll always be the WWF for me. Just like it'll always be the Jake downtown, that field that they play on.
Right. Always the Jake, always the Q.
Yeah, the Q, which technically shouldn't be, the gun or the what was it called before
Hey,
that?
look, I hated calling it Gun Arena because it just sounded
Too close to gonorrhea.
too close to an STD.
Exactly.
So I never called it Gun Arena. I just couldn't do it.
Okay. Anyway, but my point
Anyways.
is that I really felt like they really kind of like boosted the popularity of the sport again, when it had kind of quieted down. I mean, it never died, you know what I mean? But it was, it was not when Hulk Hogan was doing his thing back, and he was in Rocky 3, remember?
He's right.
and doing things like that. And then he becomes he body slams Andre the Giant. Like they were big news. Like people who weren't just wrestling fans
Outside of
watched
wrestling,
that, right?
yeah, right.
Yeah, it was like that was in the popular culture. They had a freaking Saturday morning cartoon, for crying out loud, and an album. They made an album. I had it on vinyl. Like that's how old I am.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, they all did the Land of a Thousand Dances as a group.
That's
oh
right.
my gosh, that's the best.
Right.
Anyway,
they made a video for it.
they sure did. But then it kind of like faded a little bit, and I'm just thinking it faded because it faded for me. Like I didn't pay attention as much. But when The Rock and Stone Cold and Kurt Angle and Triple H and those storylines were going on, I got hooked again. Like I was like, okay, this is fun again. So what was it like? Who were the ones that really kind of inspired you? I think I can guess, at least for the character kind of that you play, but tell us like who inspired you to be the show? Like where does that come from?
Well, let me ask your guess first. Who's your guess?
Well, I feel like just looking at some of the pictures that there's some Macho Man in there a little bit.
Definitely.
Right? Okay.
Right on, spot on.
I had a feeling. Yeah. He was one of my favorites. Like the dude was just awesome.
Yeah.
That character,
so awesome.
Yeah.
I take from Macho Man the boas when I wear my boas up. Obviously, that's like kind of Hollywood Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair esque, something like that. I like to be considered very safe in the ring and technical. So that comes from Bret Hart, I would say. Okay. I like to be as crisp with my moves as possible. I'm not as good as him, obviously, but I try to be. So I guess a combination, but Macho Man is the biggest influence, I would say, for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you don't have an Elizabeth, do you? And you're
no, I've never had a female. I take that back. I've had a female manager once or twice in my career, but nothing that ever was mainstay.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. Or became a romantic interest.
Well, that's a story for another day.
Yeah, right.
There you go.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about this region, because I've seen some. I've seen videos. The only time I've ever been to one of the a regional was down in Florida when I was it was back when I was in high school and I was really into this. My stepmother's dad was super huge into it and actually knew everybody involved. So we got ringside seats and we went to the regional. And they put on a fantastic show. Like it was so great. Like I was loving every minute of it. And this is a kid who would go right home and watch Hulk Hogan. So that'll tell you, right? The quality of the matches was just as good. It was just, they don't get as much attention. Like you said, they're not on TV. So tell us a little bit about where you guys wrestle, where can we see shows with you in it?
So my home company is Ohio Championship Wrestling. That's still actually the company I started with when I started training is still around. We're just based now in Akron, Ohio. The Akron, Canton area. We've done shows in Mogador, Akron, Canton, somewhere in there. And then there's Buckeye Wrestling Alliance, which is down in the Warsaw, Coshocton area, Newark, Ohio area. Newark is a suburb of or close to Columbus, Ohio. It's 40 minutes away, right. I think 40 minutes, half hour.
Yeah.
And then last night I was for World Classic Professional Big Time Wrestling, and they bring in a lot of legends, a lot of stars, and a lot of guys that were on the Attitude Era, and earlier, 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Oh, wow. They had a big fan fest last night. Kane, Tatanka.
What?
Yeah, it was a huge show. Roberts.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
I did meet him at a Neo Comic Con here. He was, he wasn't there for Neo Comic Con. It just happened to be some wrestlers doing a little show in the same
next door.
hotel. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Jerry the King Lawler was the
love
headliner.
That guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. So I thought when I saw you post a thing, it said Jerry the King Lawler. I'm like, there's no way Jerry the King Lawler is still wrestling. He was
Oh
wrestling.
yeah. Oh yeah.
What?
He was the
That's
main event.
amazing.
He was
He's
the
the
main event.
king. I mean, he's the king, right? I mean,
Right.
I
Fair.
should, but
That is fair.
I had no idea he was still getting in the ring. Like that is really cool.
Oh, that's
So
fantastic.
little inside thing here. I was actually supposed to wrestle him last night, but the card got changed.
Oh,
Oh,
my
no.
gosh, that would have been epic.
That would have been incredible.
Although, it would have, but I was very happy getting to wrestle with, the Powers of Pain, Barbarian and
Sure.
Warlord. They were class acts, great in the ring.
That's fantastic.
It was fun. And Baby Doll, Perfect 10, like NWA era, like
wow.
he was the manager that came out. It was cool. It's a very surreal moment for sure.
That's nuts. Yeah, just like
they're down
all of
in
those.
like the Chillicothe area, Southern Ohio, the world class.
That's crazy.
I had no idea.
And what did you say that was called again? The thing, it was Big World Classic. There was like 17 words.
World Classic Professional Big Time Wrestling.
Big time.
So
that's
WCBCCBD. No, I'm just kidding.
BDTB.
That's awesome.
They put
I love if you want to start another one, you just add another word to it, and then now you're bigger than them. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's too funny.
Yeah. They've put on, I think, 3 of the biggest shows in independent wrestling all over the country this year.
Wow, that's really cool.
And it's based in Ohio. Like, it's crazy. And
that is so cool.
I'm a part of it, and it's awesome. Like,
yeah. Now, how often do you wrestle then? Like, how often do you do a live show personally yourself?
So, man, I'm getting up there in years. I just said I'm in my 18th year. I just had my 18th anniversary. I tried to kind of slow down, but I'm doing more shows now than I have in a while. Like I used to go state to state, like travel all over, just trying to make it or whatever. I tried to slow down. I'm basically based in Ohio now, but I've got a lot of companies that are good companies. Like there's a lot of bad companies all over the country and a lot of bad companies in Ohio that, don't pay, don't draw well, what have you. But the 3 that I mentioned,
the exposure.
Right.
They won't pay you. Yeah. We'll pay you an exposure.
Right. The 3 or 4 that I work for, which is OCW, BWA, New Ohio Wrestling, World Classic Professional Big Time Wrestling, they're all based around the area, and I'm working for them consistently. So I'm like doing at least 2, 3 shows, 4 shows a month.
Wow.
Which is basically like every weekend.
Yeah.
And it depends on when they can draw and when they can put a show together, but at least at the very least once or twice a month for sure.
That's really cool. Yeah. Oh my gosh, did you see this in the chat, Utah?
I did. I was just looking at that.
That's really well. Thank you. What is that? I don't have my glasses on.
BWA Crane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, BWA. Duh. There we go. That's where the BWA comes from. Well, thank you. Yeah, that's awesome. That would be awesome to go.
We'll definitely take him up on that.
Oh, that's cool.
The last time I went to one of these regional, like I said, while I was in high school, I got in trouble though. So you may not want me there. I don't know.
The rowdier, the better.
Well, so not in this case. So again, I told you we were front row, right? And then I'm going to tell the story, and then I want to ask you a question related.
This story.
So, I got really into it. It's the first time I've ever been at a live wrestling. It's always just been a television event for me. I still have never seen like WWE or anything. I've never been to a show, right? But this is the first time I had seen wrestling happening in front of my face. Right, I'm right here, and these guys were coming out, and this dude that was coming out was a heel, and he was just like yelling at fans and just being a heel, right? And I had gotten a T-shirt for coming, my like I said, my stepmom's dad, so my step granddad, I guess. He's the one who brought us there. Again, he knows everyone. He knows the entire organization. Like he's there every single show. We're sitting right up front. Buys me a T-shirt because he's a good step granddad. And I'm like, I'm not wearing it. I have it in my hands. And as this guy went by, I swung it and hit him with my T-shirt. Now, again, I am a stupid kid, right? Like this is, again, I think it was like middle school. Like I'm just like a dumb kid.
Right.
I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm just like, he's yelling at the people next to me. We're all yelling at him. And I just kind of swung a T-shirt. This, if people have 9 lives, I'm on my last one and I'm barely hanging on right now because this guy literally, and again, up until that point, I know I'm a kid. I feel like a lot of it's still very, real. Like, my parents tried to convince me, that the outcomes are staged and things like that. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Have you seen what they do? I'm a kid. It's kind of like Santa Claus. I don't want to stop believing yet. Right. And so as far as I know, this guy really might destroy me. Like I have no idea, but he spins around like, it didn't hurt him. Right. It was just a T-shirt, but you don't do that. It's wrong. It was wrong. It was definitely wrong. And, but he turns around and just does, oh my gosh, if looks could kill. And he gets right up and he comes right towards me and I'm backing back down into my seat, sitting down. And my step granddad was so mad. Like I was more scared of him, I think, than the wrestler because there's at least a fence between us.
Barricade. Yeah.
And I'm sitting next to him and I have to go home with him in the car. But all he did was just give me the look. And then he went back about his business and, we watched the rest of the match. But I swear I almost peed my pants. I was like, what? Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I got excited, right? I was into it, and it was just nuts. But my granddad was not happy about it. It was definitely the wrong thing to do. I learned, you're not, don't do that. But yeah, it's funny because they were that close to us though. That's what freaked me out. I was
and
just
to
like,
this
oh my
day,
gosh.
Jeff doesn't swing any piece of cloth or anything. He's just
No.
so traumatized by that experience.
This is why I hate Steelers fans so much because of that.
Just the terrible towel.
Every time they get excited at a game, it has nothing to do with the Browns rivalry. It's when they swing those towels. I have PTSD, and I think
right. It's
Flashbacks.
No, I'm kidding. No, I hate them because they're a Browns rival. But anyway, sorry if you're Steelers fans out in the we won't talk about the Browns today. It was not great. So my question for you then is, what are the fans like at these? Have you ever had a weird encounter with fans? Like, can they be?
Yeah.
The show. Have you scared the crap out of any middle schoolers?
Young middle school kids. Are there middle school kids who are probably in college now that still have nightmares about you? Is that?
Probably.
Oh, that's great.
When I'm a heel or a bad guy, one of my best moves is like I ask for 5, like I do this like a low 5, and then I go like that, wipe my hair.
Nice.
I always spray myself down so it's water, and I get them right in the water.
That's great.
That's a classic move.
Yeah.
I just had a man get in my face last. Like it was a narrow way to the ring last night, and we were like basically going through the people. And I was a heel last night, and I was doing my shtick, and all these kids were just like, give me a high five, you suck, like right in my face. I'm just like being the show and like putting my hand up in the air, and all of a sudden this dude just comes and like boom, right in front of my face. He's like, pick on me. And I'm like,
oh, what?
I just like, I looked at him, like he kind of startled me at first because it was like this grown man. And I wasn't even doing anything to the kids. I was just like,
where you're just putting your hand up.
Yep. I was just like, show. And just getting into my character. And this dude just comes in right in front of my face.
Oh
and he's like, pick on me. And like, just like this stone cold, like stare, like into my soul. And I was like,
wow.
I just laughed at him. I was like, you suck. And he's just like, the stone cold look just was, he just like got sad. Like, I like hurt his feelings. That was great. So I just shut him down with a couple words, but it was funny.
That's fantastic. I mean, what else are you going to do, right?
Right. Well, if he would have touched
you're not gonna
me,
put hands on him.
I'm not
Sure.
going to touch a
He would've been
fan, but if
gone.
he would have touched me, then
Right.
it would have been a different story. But
Sure.
Yep. For sure.
luckily, he didn't. It didn't go to that. But a funny, I guess, non-fan story. But somebody that interfered in my match and my claim to fame. And I don't know if you saw any of the pictures on my social media or anything. This is kind of like the biggest highlight of my career. Is we were doing a show for New Ohio Wrestling in Columbus, and we were a part of the Arnold Classic Expo.
Oh, fun.
cool.
We were actually, or I guess it's the Arnold Sports Festival Expo. In this particular year, we were at the Kids Expo. We were in that building. And
Oh, cool.
the rumor was that Arnold Schwarzenegger was going to come to the wrestling show and present the belt to the winner of the tournament that night. And we didn't know when he was going to show up or whatever. And long story short, we were doing the match for the championship, and we were like, we don't know if Arnold's coming. And I was going to the ring, and the promoter runs up to me as I'm in character going to the ring. He's like, Arnold is in the building. I'm like, okay. And we had a match all like worked out or whatever. And I'm in the ring. I'm a bad guy. I'm the heel. I'm going to the crowd, the show, and I go, and I just see this swarm of people coming towards the ring. And in front of the swarm of people is Arnold Schwarzenegger. He comes right up to the ring. And I'm like, this wasn't scripted. This wasn't planned. I just stayed in character. I started taunting to him. I started flexing to him. We worked it into the match.
Fantastic.
I turned around into a big move and took the pinfall. We thought he was going to get in the ring and present the belt to the guy that I wrestled, Onyx. He was a great guy, Superman Onyx. I don't know if you guys can ever look him up, but he's a good guy. He's a local professional wrestler.
All right.
But Onyx or Schwarzenegger didn't get in the ring. He's looking at me, and I was like, I went to Arnold. I was like, push me down. And then he didn't do it. So I kind of started to roll back in the ring. And luckily he put his hands on me and rolled me back in. So it didn't look silly. He had the sense to do that in front of the crowd or whatever. And then I took another big slam from my opponent, and Arnold, just applauded the guy that beat me and stuff like that. So that was
so cool.
That was the biggest thing for sure.
That's gotta
for me.
be a memory you'll never forget. That's pretty amazing. Right. Yeah.
Right. He didn't use any one of his one-liners at all on you?
That would have been great.
Get to the chopper. Get in the ring.
Oh my gosh.
When he left, I should have looked up from the ring. I was like, I'll be back.
I'll be back.
So I did, like I said, high school wrestling, actual, collegiate style wrestling. I don't know what they call the difference.
Greco-Roman wrestling, I think.
There you go. That's what it is. You're right. Greco-Roman.
I don't, the Greeks and the Romans just liked
Greco-Roman. They call it amateur wrestling, Greco-Roman.
Yeah. Which is the closest I've ever gotten. And, beyond that, I played football for a year, all that kind of stuff. I wasn't super athletic. That was just kind of the stuff that was stuff I like to do. So I never saw myself ever, being, I would never spend enough time in a gym to be an actual wrestler, but you doing what you guys do. But I always loved, so the guys that I love, I'll just tell you, hands down, my favorite, other than Hulk Hogan at the time, my favorite guy in all of wrestling was Roddy Piper. And there was a point at which, basically he stopped wrestling. You know what I mean? And he just did his little Piper's corner. What was it called? Piper's Pit. Piper's Pit.
And he went to acting.
And he went to acting. And he was in a fantastic movie with.
He was in They Live.
Yeah, They Live, where you can find.
Classic.
the
Cult
longest,
classic, totally.
the longest knockdown, drag out, beat 'em up fight
Yes, in the
over
alley.
putting on a pair of sunglasses you will ever see in any movie ever.
Well,
Yeah.
he also has one of the best one-liners in all of cinema, right?
Oh
It's
yeah.
like I came here to kick butt and chew
Kick
bubblegum.
ass. Yep.
And then
And I'm all out of bubblegum. There
there
it
you
is.
go.
Yeah. See, I mean,
you guys know what we're talking. Oh, Hell Comes to Frogtown. Yeah, that was another one that he was in.
oh, that's right.
But the reason I bring that up is because I loved like Piper's Pit. Like I love like he would still taunt and be like that guy, you know what I mean? He would still like, but he would do the interviews and stuff with them instead. And that I loved Mean Gene Okerlund. Remember that guy? There was no better guy to stand between two giant men while they threatened to kill each other than Mean Gene. Like that, he had some of the best interviews, the best reactions to the things that would happen. I love that kind of stuff. And then you've got like Jim Ross and who are ringside and Jerry Lawler, and what's the Michael Cole. I'm trying to think of the other guys that have done it throughout the years. I don't even know who's doing it now. I'm not really watching much of it anymore. But do you guys have that going on too? Like, is there ringside commentary? Do you guys live stream anywhere? Like sometimes things like that. What kind of stuff?
Actually, OCW has become affiliated with a company, and they do ringside commentary, and they do Facebook Live shows sometimes.
Nice.
Believe Land Media.
Okay.
And they're on Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. And they're actually really good. We've also had commentators and ring announcers back in the day when I started coming up that I love. Like the ring announcer last night, Hank Hudson, he's a well-established, like well-known, works all over Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, all these states and stuff. Very classic, wears a tuxedo to the ring still.
Nice.
Top-notch ring announcer. John Orlando, Adam Michaels, they did a lot of like commentary for us for OCW and like our internet shows. We actually had a local TV show like in the day that they did like the play-by-play and stuff like that. But currently BW or Believe Land Media, they're our biggest like live play-by-play guys, and they're great. I mean, I compliment them as many times as I can. They're a good bunch of guys that donate their time basically to come down and be a part of the show.
That's cool.
If anybody else can look them up, I mean, that would be great.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'll look it up for sure. Yeah. I mean, because that would be the only way I would get involved in wrestling nowadays is getting being like on the side or ring announcing or something, like that.
Oh, come on, Jeff. There's got to be some like middle-aged dad bod wrestling league somewhere, right?
Nobody wants
just
to
like
see
stand
that.
there and point at each
not
other.
With me.
Like
I'm sure there are people who want to see that. Yeah, or a manager. Oh gosh, that would be so fun.
Be a manager. That'd be a blast.
Oh my gosh, because I just saw recently that oh my gosh, I'm blanking on his name. Mouth of the South, Jimmy, right? Jimmy Hart, right? Is that what you said?
Yep.
Yeah.
Jimmy
that
Hart,
guy.
yeah.
Oh my God, I used to love that guy. Bobby the Brain.
Oh, there he is.
Oh my gosh,
that's so great.
Yeah, those were the
that.
best. I mean, to me that was the most like some of the managers were some of my favorites too. You know what I mean? Like I just and Jimmy, the Mouth of the South, he was somebody I loved to hate. I mean, I loved him because of like what he brought to the show, but as a character, as in the show, I'm supposed to hate him. Like he was always with the heels and doing stuff. So
he was doing his job.
He was so good. Yeah, that's what I loved about him. Yeah, it was great. Oh my gosh, just memories now. They're flooding back. Yeah, I'm not so much into it as much as I used to be, and now you got me all excited. I'm gonna have to go to one of these BWA.
The golden age is where it's at, man. Watch the old stuff again, relive those memories. That's what I geek out for. Is the 80s, early 90s wrestling is my favorite era for sure.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
where can you still see that? Like, where can you find old? Is that on the WWE net? Which it's merged with
Yeah,
somebody. Is it
they're on
Peacock?
Peacock. Yeah, the WWE Network. I mean,
Peacock.
Do they have old like
oh
WrestleManias
yeah,
and stuff? And I'm
yep,
gonna have to check that.
yep,
I subscribe. I just don't. I don't watch a whole lot of
right.
things. Right now, I'm just waiting for Halloween Ends to come on, and now it's there, so I have to watch
It's
it now.
there. Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. This
Yeah.
weekend.
No
Yep, yep.
spoilers. I haven't seen it yet.
My wife's a big
Um,
horror
it
fan, so
ends.
she
It
probably would
ends.
see that. Yeah,
Yeah. I'm gonna have to check that out. That's awesome. Thanks for pointing that out.
yeah.
Um,
The
because
old
yeah,
these are videos like that. I mean, that's like physical media is like the way to go too.
Right?
yeah.
Yeah. Just bring out the VHS tapes.
Oh,
Well,
there
if
are
you got a
some.
VCR that still works,
Right.
I've got
I
one.
do. There's one back here.
Yeah, I do transfers to digital for people and stuff, so I've got one. But in fact, I've got a video of me and some friends like throwing each other around the front yard. It's oh my god, it's so
Oh
bad.
wow, Jet! Wow, Jet.
We were
It was
so
it
bad.
was so good. You went to the front yard instead of the backyard. You were putting on
What?
a show for the neighborhood, right?
No, of course.
that was the
Yeah,
WrestleMania. That was the
of course.
WrestleMania show.
There you
No.
go.
Oh my god. I mean, I was such a bad like we were I mean, we're just improvising too, so but that's why it was bad. But I can't let that see the light of day. Not just because of my own embarrassment, but I don't have the permission of the other guys to embarrass them, so I won't do that.
Oh,
But
you don't. You went. Oh, I guess that's fair. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I like that. Somebody in the chat was mentioning Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Yes,
Oh
definitely want
yeah.
to check that. Definitely want to check that out for sure.
That's wait, is that coming to Peacock? Is that why they said that? Or is it just
I don't think. No, I think it
just
was
because
just
we were
horror
talking about
movies in
Halloween?
general.
Yeah. The Grinch is also being made into the mean one. They're calling it. They
Oh,
can't
really?
call him the Grinch because it's,
Love it.
but they're getting away with it because of parody because it's not in the public domain from what I understand. But they can. It looks like the Jim Carrey one, which is why I think they're going to get in trouble. Just like the folks that made that. Was it Batman or something like that? They just made at
Yes.
Sundance or something, and it got canceled. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of that stuff now coming out. So that Winnie the Pooh one, I don't know how I feel about that.
I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait.
I don't know how I feel about that. All right, so well, I mean, I don't want to move on to another topic unless you have other things that maybe I haven't dug into yet. I feel like we've milked all kinds of wrestling data and info from
We hit a
you.
lot of stuff for sure.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to get some of those links to put in our show notes for the podcast folks to be able to. So I got believelandmedia.com. I'm gonna need the Buckeye Wrestling Alliance and all the
All the
websites or
wrestling
whatever.
ones.
Yeah, we want to make sure people can find you guys because that's awesome.
Yeah.
So does that Buckeye Wrestling Alliance, is that the one that you said is down near Columbus, Chillicothe area, or are they all over the place?
There's actually there's actually like 3 different promotions that are close to like the Columbus area. Buckeye Wrestling is Warsaw, Newark, Coshocton area. New Ohio Wrestling is basically Columbus. And World Classic is Chillicothe, Circleville,
Okay.
those types of areas. And
Well-
then OCW's Akron up north area.
Akron. You're right.
Well, BWA is the one that offered us free access to one of your shows. So
There's a gentleman in the chat.
where would we be able to see how far would we have to go to see, like, did they come up in this area or that would be down in Warsaw, like you said?
Yeah, so then their next show is actually November 5th. It's called Drop Kicks. Yeah, Drop Kicks and Lipstick. They're actually combining. They're doing a drag show as well.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, how great.
Combo. It's a very eclectic, like weird type of show. but
Oh,
it's
that
gonna be
sounds
fun.
fantastic, though.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a cool show. It's in Newark, Ohio. It is November 5th. It's at the VW Post. There's only a certain amount of tickets that are available. But that is my next show that I got lined. And the next show after that, Austin Batdorf Invitational, which was a charity show that we did to raise awareness for drug addiction, and we've kind of kept the legacy alive. It was one of my close buddies, my close friends, lost his brother, and he wanted to do something in his memory for drug addiction, and we came up with a wrestling show it's the 10th year we've done it. So this is DBI 10, and that's
cool.
that's going to be in November as well, November 12th.
So that's only like an hour and a half away in Warsaw.
No,
I
it's
just
not
did
Newark,
hour and
Ohio
40
is
minutes.
Newark, Ohio from me is about 2 hours, or hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah.
Or no, it's
Because like
actually
you
it's about an hour and a half. Hour and a half.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
And
like you
then,
said, Newark is not too far out from Columbus. So
Right.
that's awesome.
And then the OCW show is going to be in Akron, so that's it's not very far from me at all.
Yeah, but they didn't offer me free tickets, so I'm not going there.
True.
I'm just kidding.
that's a fair point.
I'm just kidding.
Damn.
No, I'm totally kidding. So, but November 5th is the that's our Extra Life marathon. So we're raising money for.
Okay.
In fact, this gives me a good segue to throw this out there real quick.
There you go.
Because I have to do it every show.
Right.
So Extra Life is a charity program to raise money, and you're a video game guy, so you might be interested in this. It's a video game charity to raise money for your local children's hospital. Literally, you pledge to play games for 24 hours. You ask people to sponsor you. They sponsor you. The money goes directly to your children's hospital, and you get to play video games for 24 hours without people looking at you like you have no life. It's like, it's for the kids, man. That's right. And we're not supposed to say that
Well,
anymore.
to be
Somebody
fair,
else-
they can still do that, but
Yeah, exactly. No, it's fantastic. And unfortunately for us, it's November 5th and 6th, so I won't be able to go to that show where we'll be playing video games, but we'll be thinking about you. But yeah, that's cool. I'm going to have to check out, definitely, for sure, because I think that would be a good time.
Yeah,
And I'll keep,
that's such a
I'll
great
make sure
combo, too. My
I will
God.
not buy any t-shirts until after the show, just to be sure. I'll definitely behave, I promise. January
no
BWA
piece of
shows.
show.
cloth for you.
Exactly
You're
right.
always
Yeah.
welcome in any of the shows.
Let's see.
Very
I'll
cool.
bring a Pittsburgh terrible towel and throw it at somebody and then run. And they'll think I'll just be mad at
Ooh,
Pittsburgh
there we
fans.
go. Now
Yeah,
that
there you
sounds
go.
like fun.
That might be a good show. Myself and my partner Jimmy Shane are actually in that tournament. So
Oh, tag team
Nice.
tournament. That sounds like
we're
fun.
called the winners. So
So what do we have information when that
Yeah.
is? Like what day or anything like that? Where can I find that information? Let's give that to people right now as well.
January. I can actually. have
What's
it
the
in my calendar.
website for BWA? Put it in the
Uh,
chat
they
if you guys have. January 14th.
They're on.
says.
They're on Facebook. They're on Twitter. They're on Instagram.
Okay.
Buckeye Wrestling Alliance.
I'm just trying to see what day of the week and stuff that is. The
It's
24th.
a
It's a
Saturday.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
The
14th.
14th. What am I saying? 24th.
You're saying the
14th
24th.
is a Saturday. It is a Saturday. I got nothing going on. What do you say, Utah? Should we try to
Ooh,
go?
let me check. I usually don't have anything going on Saturdays. So.
You think we can get Aaliyah to come with it? We got to bring Aaliyah.
Well, Aaliyah has to show up, of course.
So yeah, our third co-host is Aaliyah. For those of you who've never watched the show before, yeah. we
Happy
have to-
birthday to her, by the way. Her
Yeah.
birthday
Did I not
was
say that at the
yesterday?
beginning? I totally forgot. Yeah.
Was it yesterday?
We were gonna save it for the end. Remember, make her listen to the entire show before we could say it.
Oh yeah. Oh, say what? Say what for the end? I didn't say anything.
Anyway.
What are you
Will
talking- say-
Yeah. No, well, I mean, in the middle is even better because she could just jump to the end to see if we did it, and now she'll think we didn't do it at all, and then she'll be
Got to
all
keep her
sad.
guessing.
Yeah. But happy
What's up
birthday
with
to
that?
Leah. Yeah, who is our co-host. She's down for the count, unfortunately, and could not be with us today. So, but I think we have to take her to this if we're gonna. She's got to come to the wrestling.
Jeez, yeah, totally.
Yeah, maybe we could do a live stream from there. That could be fun.
That'd be oh my gosh, that'd be fantastic. Do a remote from there.
He just
Yeah.
if you guys said that BWA Crane, he just said if you guys come down, he'll get you guys on the show in some capacity.
As long, so okay.
You might get to live your long,
Jeff, you might get to live your you might get to live your childhood dream.
childhood
Well,
dream.
I hope it doesn't mean I'm going to get thrown around in the ring or something because that I might not survive it.
No, well,
I
we'll have a
just
little
got
kid.
off of prednisone and muscle relaxers from lifting a box. I helped my daughter move a few weeks back. Literally the second box that I picked up, I threw my back out. Like I only got through 2 boxes, and then I was like,
And it was
I
a box
just
full of
supervising for the rest
plushies.
of the day. No, it was. She does collect Squishmallows. There were
I'm
quite a
just
few bags
kidding.
of those, but no. That's awesome.
We'll just have no. We'll have a kid. We'll have a kid hit you in the face with a towel.
That's that. Fair enough. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, we'd love to come. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm gonna kind of put a reminder on my calendar right now, because like I said, this is bringing back a lot of nostalgia. It's making me wish that and my wife is probably like, come on, we don't need another obsession for me to get into and have to be involved with. But no, it's fun. It'd be great to go check that out.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like she was going to say our health insurance doesn't cover that, Jeff. So don't
Well,
give
there's
the
that
ring,
too,
don't get
right?
hurt.
Yeah. No, we've hit our deductible already. We're okay. Um, no. Well, no, that'll be January. Brand new deductible. No, please
It's a
don't hurt
brand new
me.
year. Yeah. You don't want to start the year hitting your deductible, do you?
Nope. We've done that. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
2020 with
few years
cancer diagnosis for your daughter. You'll hit the deductible real fast. She's fine now, by the way. I just threw that out there like it was no big deal. She's doing great now. Tell us a little bit. So I know you're also really into video games. Mortal Kombat is your obsession. Tell me what it is. What is it about Mortal Kombat?
Oh man, I mean, obviously it's going to be a story like everybody else. Like you see the arcade cabinet for the first time, and you see a crowd of people around it when you're a kid. It came out, or it was 92, so
Yeah.
I would have been 11, and I saw this arcade cabinet. I saw all these people around it. I walked by, and I was like, "What is that?" And like it looked like Pit Fighter to me. If you guys remember that old,
Yes.
the digitized graphics, and I loved Pit Fighter. I used to go to Rocco's Pizza in Akron, Ohio, for birthday parties with my friends and stuff. And Pit Fighter was one of the games there, and I always like played it and fight and stuff like that. So I had to give this one a try. I tried it. It blew Pit Fighter out of the water. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it came to, the ports, I had a Super Nintendo, so I had the toned down version, but it was still a great version, and
Sure.
ever since Mortal Kombat 1, I've had every game ever since. Recently got a bunch of buddies that I play with online, and we've been playing the newest one, for the past 3 years. We still jump on and play it.
And they still release some DLC every so often for it too, right?
Well, not anymore for this game. They said that they were done for
They've
Mortal
moved
Kombat
on.
11. Yeah. They're working on their next project, and I pay attention to Ed Boon's Twitter and NetherRealm's Twitter. Like I'm one of those guys that are like, what did he just tweet?
What's next?
Yeah. If it's a clue, if it's a troll, if it's whatever, but I'm one of those guys.
And Ed Boon will do that too. He'll put a little thing out there just to mess with the masses.
He's been doing it a lot lately too. I don't know if you guys follow him or not, but
has he? No, I haven't seen. Oh, that's great.
People are chomping at the bits. They're getting ready to release something, and everyone thinks it's Mortal Kombat 12. So
that's what I was going to say. Do we know if there's a 12 or are they doing something?
That's the biggest rumor that's what it's going to be.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because this year is the 30th anniversary. Like you said, it was 92. Yep. So you figure they got to be doing something big next year,
right?
Yeah. I played quite a bit. Utah, you remember when we worked at Qzar in Columbus, down in
good old Qzar in Columbus.
Was a laser tag place that we worked at, and they had Mortal Kombat 2. I think it was right. Is that the one? That's the one where Baraka was introduced, right? And that the first one.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. And Shang Tsung and like Shao Kahn. That's the guy I'm trying to think of. It was instead of Goro, it was that guy at the end, right?
Yes. Yeah. You got Goro's boss, not just Goro. Yep.
I was so bad at that game. I could only play Baraka, and I figured out
you would
pattern.
Spam.
Yep. There's a pattern like that, and you could get like through most of the levels, but I could never get to the end. I've never beaten it, and forget it if I played against someone there. I mean, just destroyed. Fighting games have never been my forte, but yeah, but I did enjoy it. It was really, it was kind of a thing, man. Like everybody came to play that. Like some people came there
yeah.
to play that instead of laser tag, which was
Yeah,
what
they didn't
fight-
bother with laser tag or anything else. It was just about Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
totally.
Mortal Kombat 2 is probably my favorite in that era of the franchise. Obviously,
Yeah.
I actually love Mortal Kombat 9, MKX, and MK11, but I'm going to be one of a lot of people love MK9, but I really like Mortal Kombat 11 because it has, I just think I don't know, it's more my play style, a little bit slower. But then it's got cool like guest characters that I grew up in, like watching in the 80s, like Rambo and the
Right.
Terminator.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
who else is in
Was
there?
it Michael
Spawn.
Myers one of them too?
Michael Myers
Oh, no,
has not been a guest character
Freddy
yet.
was. It was Freddy.
Freddy was in 9, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it was
what it
Freddy.
Freddy was in 9. Jason was in 10 or X. Xenomorph or the alien was in X, along with
No, I haven't
Leatherface.
seen that one. When you said
You
Mortal
haven't?
Kombat, I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't see that one. Which one was it in?
In X.
Mortal Kombat
10?
X.
Okay.
Mortal Kombat 10. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I just told you how bad I am at fighting games, so obviously I don't grab them when
You
they
wouldn't-
come
you
out.
wouldn't be following.
If it shows up in Game Pass or one of the free games or something like that, like that's how I played. What's the DC one? In
Injustice?
Injustice, is I waited for it to be free somewhere, and I just I put it on the easiest possible level just so I could see the story. You know what I mean? I just kind of beat on everybody. But
It's
yeah.
funny. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. So I didn't even realize there was an alien.
Yeah, well, it's funny you say that. Like you're not a big fan of fighting games. Like a couple of my buddies that are actually in the chat right now, Garrett and Jared, they weren't fighting game fans either, and then they wanted to play because I really loved it and I talked it up, Mortal Kombat, and now Jared beats me and I rage quit. I'm like, how does he do it? Like I get so mad.
Yeah. I mean, the big ones right now are like the Smash style games, right? Like those are huge right now. You've got multiverses.
Yeah, everybody's got a version of that.
Yep, right. Nickelodeon's got one. WB's got one.
WB's got one.
I'm waiting for the Disney one where you can be like Marvel characters, but then you can also be like, I don't know, Donald Duck slamming down on Captain America or something. You know, I mean that would be fun. I mean, there's got to be a way to do it, right?
I
Disney's
definitely
gotta
want
be thinking about
Cinderella
it, right?
kicking some ass. Absolutely.
Yeah. They have to be considering it, right? I mean, especially after WB's got one now.
I feel like it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Especially since Disney owns, the IP that they own is insane.
Right.
Can you imagine like having Pixar characters doing
Star Wars,
Marvel characters,
people
Star
would
Wars,
flip the heck out just to be able
National
to put them all
Geographic characters start? No, I'm just kidding.
together. Yeah, ESPN. Well, that's funny is because they got ESPN. That means could they use LeBron James like WB does? And but
that would
WB
be-
owns
oh my
his
gosh,
likeness
can you
because of
imagine?
Space
No.
Jam.
No, it's going to be just ESPN on air.
Yeah, what was his name?
Talent.
Berman out there like fighting.
Right. Kenny Mayne and
Dropping his like catchphrases at people, and then they fall
That's
backwards.
right.
Yeah, that would be hilarious.
That's funny. Multiverses is another game that we.
That's right. That one just came out recently.
My
that
son
one's,
is
that
obsessed
one's a lot
with
of
it
fun
right now.
too.
So, what's that? Say that again. You play that one
I
too?
said that one. Multiverses is a lot of fun as well. We have fun with that one too. My gaming buddies and I.
My youngest son is obsessed with that one. He plays it all the time. And Utah, he's excited because we had one of the voices of Multiverses. He does several voices in the game. Daniel Ross on the show.
Yeah.
And he was so excited to tell me when he found out that Daniel Ross was doing Gizmo. He did Gizmo. He did Sir Shagalicious or whatever. I don't know. One of the Shaggies, the Sir Shagwell. What's his name? He's like the sophisticated Shaggy. Sir Shagwell, I'm sure is not
Uncle
his name.
Shagworthy.
Shagworthy. That's just as dirty. Why is that okay?
Anything with Shag. I mean, come on. We all know the Scooby-Doo cartoon and the characters were, adult level stuff. As kids, we had no idea what was going on.
Too funny. He's also Gizmo and Stripe. Shagsworth, that was it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's the voice of that Gizmo and Stripe. He's both the Gremlins, so that's kind of fun. That's again, I'm terrible, so I don't, play it with him because he would destroy me so quickly. But
You just
yeah,
hit all the
people,
buttons. Something happens.
that's what I do. And my thing is, anytime I get knocked over, people find ways to get like back on, when you're falling off the
Yes.
side.
Yeah.
I like get knocked over there and go, phew, like I like attack down or something, I don't know what it is, but I just zoom down and I'm like, what happened? I don't know how to get back on. I can't do it. So all you have to do is get me to the edge and I'm done because I will kill myself at that point.
All right. Mental note. Okay, Jeff.
I'm not playing it with you. That's not going to happen. That's funny. But yeah, so when it comes to Mortal Kombat, then what are your thoughts on the movies? Where are you are you a fan of any of the movies or?
Yeah, for sure. The best movie still to me is the original. I think it came out in '95. Yeah,
The first one. Yeah.
the first one with can't think of his name right now, but the first one is my favorite. I actually enjoyed the most recent one, the live action one.
That was pretty good, actually.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest, but I enjoyed it just because I'm a big Mortal Kombat fan.
Yeah.
But I really like the animated series, and I'm still looking to watch the newest one, the
Oh.
Snowblind,
Okay. Yeah.
the Mortal Kombat Legends series.
Yeah. I
Okay.
just saw that on my Apple TV was advertised. It just
Yeah.
came out digital, I think, right? The newest one.
Yes,
See-
and then I think you can buy the physical copy now, and that's what I'm going to probably do.
Yeah.
I like to have physical media.
They've
Something about it
they've
Yeah.
greenlit a second one in this new series.
in the
The-
reboots.
I
they
thought
kinda
it was
ended it-
interesting.
They kind of ended it like open for this. Like they set up the
Yeah,
sequel.
sure.
Right off the
Yes.
bat.
Well, I would hope so. They didn't even use half the characters that were in it. You know what I mean? Like they
Right.
just no knock to the poor actor who had to play the guy who's not even in the game. But I think that he was, you know what I mean? Like it
Right.
just didn't feel, he felt out of place and he did a good job. This isn't a knock on how he did in the movie, but I just, from a story perspective, I'm like, we didn't need that guy. Like you know what I mean? This should have been just Mortal Kombat characters. And then, I know what they're trying to do. Like we need to have an avatar that we can relate to bring us into the movie. I'm like, nope, that's okay. Just, I don't need to relate to any of these guys. Just let me see them kill each other. And that's good. You know what I mean? Like, of course, then who gets to be the hero? I don't know. You know what I mean? I think it has to be a group, right? It has to be like an Avengers. It's got to be like Jax, Johnny Cage, and Sonya. I'm just throwing whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like they have to pick like the ones that will be the Avengers of the Mortal Kombat, and then those guys somehow live. I get it, but I thought the way they did that, like the first fight with Sub-Zero and Scorpion was off the hook.
Scorpion's
That
origin
was
story
yeah.
was very
so
cool.
good. Like the whole movie to me was made right then. Like that, it could have ended right there, and I was satisfied.
Right.
It was really good. I wanted more of that, and we didn't really. You know what I mean? It kind of went off the rails after that. I felt like.
I 100% agree. 100% agree. Like the Cole Young character was, like you said, definitely supposed to like be relatable to the person watching the movie. You know, that's us. That's
Right.
the fan,
Mhm.
and they're whatever. From what I understand, this was supposed to be prior to the first Mortal Kombat tournament with these characters. So
Okay.
the sequel with when they're supposed to be bringing in Johnny Cage is going to be like the segue into the first Mortal Kombat tournament. Now, if
because they didn't even have a tournament, right? It was literally them trying to
right.
stop them before a tournament ever began.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if Cole Young makes a return, okay, but I agree with you. Like, the actor was phenomenal. He did a great job. But
I'm not knocking it. It just was. I just felt like it just
Unnecessary.
the whole it kind of made the movie like, I don't know. Again, it felt like people were just characters were wasted. They just were there, and a couple of the bad guys were literally just there to get slaughtered. Like they didn't even like put up
There's
a
no
great
point
fight.
in it.
And I was like, come on, that should have been a better battle.
Thankfully, it's Mortal Kombat, and anybody can come back to life, though.
Right.
This is true.
Yeah, I think everybody will probably be back because some of the people who died definitely need to be in the tournament. Like there's you can't
Goro.
have it without like
Goro.
you gotta
Can't have
have
a
it.
tournament without Goro.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not. It's not Mortal Kombat without Goro.
Right.
This is true.
And you need to have toasty at some point.
There you go.
Right.
They have Toasty and multiverses. That's like the WB thing. So that's why, actually, to
Nice.
segue into both things is they're rumors to have Mortal Kombat characters come to the multiverses.
Multiverse.
Oh my
Oh,
That's a rumor. A rumor.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
that I think is a brilliant move.
But
That would
toasts
bring
are in the
s-
game is like a you're supposed to like give your opponents or your teammate props, and you give them toast. But then, like when you do so, it says toasty or
That's funny.
things like that. So
fantastic. I love
it's
it.
pretty cool.
Especially since
love
there's
it.
a lot of little kids playing that game going, I
Yep.
have no idea the origins
Right.
of that because they're
No,
not allowed to
toast.
play Mortal Kombat. That's too funny. Well, Rob, this has been fantastic. It's so great to have you on the show. We're coming up on time, so I want to make sure that I respect your time and Utah's time and everybody's time. So the people listening at home, they're like, please, I really like this
They've had
conversation,
enough.
but it's time
They've
to
had
wrap it
enough
up.
of this show.
That's right.
But no, it's fantastic to have you. Thanks so much for being here. I'm sure we'd love to probably do this again down the road, maybe after we've had a chance to actually come.
After the tag team tournament.
Yeah,
That'd be
maybe
great.
we could
That'd be
get some
great.
footage while we're there that we could splice in and because we do our show on Sunday, unless there's a reason we wouldn't be doing a show 15th. Looks like, I mean, I can't think of one. So anyway, yeah, we could do a BWA show on wait, that was a BWA one we were talking about, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We could have a show
I get
about
those?
BWA. So who is that was inviting us? Is that somebody who runs it or is in charge of
actually,
it?
that was
chat.
that was the promoter of Buckeye Wrestling Alliance. I can get
Well, then
you guys information.
we should totally get a chance to talk to them, and then we can play that on our show on Sunday. Because sometimes we do stuff the day before, and then we'll do a show. We can't do a live show with them because you don't do it on Sunday. So we will bring it and play that stuff on our show. So yeah, let's do that. We should do. Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
You can do a whole reality show thing, like a day in the life of the show.
Oh my gosh, would that be fun? Yeah. I'll bring Libby.
How does the
I'll
show
bring-
prepare for a tournament?
Hey, I could bring some camera folks. We could get a lot of that. You know, if you let us do a whole backstage kind of. You know what I mean? Like get to know this. I'll bring some.
I would
people.
be okay with it as long as the promoter's okay with it and things like that nature.
Yeah.
For sure.
That could be fun. But at the very least, yeah, we would love to come and check it out and see that. I want to expose Aaliyah to it. I can't wait for her to see wrestling show. I wonder if she's already seen it. I'd love to know where she's. What'd you say?
I was gonna say part of that will be like the show is in prep for a match. He's playing Mortal Kombat and he just rage quits.
I get angry. Yeah.
Yeah, is that how you get pumped up for a match? You're over there playing Mortal Kombat.
No, but that's a good idea. That's what I'm going to start doing.
There you go. Yeah, that would be. Well, it depends. Like if you're winning, then you'll come out there with more confidence. If you're getting beat, you're just gonna be angry.
I feel like that's a win-win, right?
It's a win.
Okay,
Probably.
so I have to ask. French fries keep on coming up in chat.
I have
French
no
fry thief.
idea.
You're
I see that
being
too.
accused.
Oh, okay. All right. My buddy thinks it's hilarious that I took a French fry from him when we were going to the Cleveland Gaming Classic, and he's
now
just
it's a
trolling
thing.
me right now. It's just a troll.
That's great.
Hide your children. Hide your French fries.
This taking everybody around here. All right. Thanks to everybody. I mean, we had a lot of people in the audience tonight. It was really great. And I owe that to you, Robbie. Thanks for bringing your fans along. It's really great to have you. It's great to have all these folks listening. Feel free to follow us on Twitch, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. You'll find out what we're doing next, other shows that we've got coming up. We'd love to inform you about and have you guys come be a part of that as well. And that's pretty much our show for tonight. For our podcast listeners, thank you so much for being, a big bulk of our audience. We couldn't do this, or we wouldn't do this if you weren't listening. I mean, we would just be wasting our time, right? We really appreciate that. I mean, Utah and I would still be here talking about stuff, but
We would
nobody
still
else
be
would
talking. We'd be talking about stuff anyway.
Yeah, this is just we're just inviting other people into our insanity, and we appreciate it.
Yes.
Thanks so much. We'll see you guys next Sunday, 7 p.m. Have a good one. Bye, everybody. We're
Thanks,
waving.
guys.
We
Thank
got
you.
We're waving.
and Aaliyah's
Before-
and Aaliyah. Happy birthday, Aaliyah. Bye bye. All right.